issues. Clearly not. So it's part of the reason for not playing the game this evening. Oh well, we'll keep going. There is no escaping a fighter wielding Stridebreaker, but you've just made an AD carry item that blinks, so we'll see about this. Fiora Q. Affected by ability haste on a 20-second cooldown, and it carries ability haste. Interesting. Grant all legendary items 3% move speed. This whip has come back again, and the axe. So this is a Triforce substitute for characters that care less about the repeated spikes. So I guess on some Fiora matchups you'll build this instead, because you wouldn't proc shield more than once anyway. You just roll your face across the keyboard and they die. Your health, my health. If I just steal chunks of their health with Spellblade. That is concerning. This is a Kale item. It just doesn't have any attack speed on it. Not that was essential at the moment. So this is like 1v1 me, bro. Scaling dual percentage penetration. It's a bit worrying. That looks okay. Oh, nice. Shirelli is still in the game, but it's legendary. It's cheap though, so maybe we're on to support items. Support players orchestrate flawless quintets by boosting allies' movement speed. Helps if you read the whole thing. A lot of ability haste. Reasonable mana regen. Unless, again, they've changed all these champions too much. Grants you and nearby allies 40% decay movement speed. Fantastic. Gives you more movement speed. I'd prefer if this was literally anything else. You don't do this for your movement speed, you do it for your teams. Oh well. Locket's still in the game, good time. Aegis still builds into it, so I'm expecting Aegis to still be a dual resist item. Which does beg the question why those first few, some have it and some don't, despite having dual resist. Moonstone Renewer, so is this... This is not the Moonstone item from Twisted Treeline. Constant heals that ramp up over a fight. Affecting champions with basic attacks or allies in combat. Restore health to the most wounded nearby ally, so single heal. Each second spent in combat champions increases this healing. No cooldown? 2-second cooldown. So champions like Soraka will have to balance their rotation around this. Ignoring... No, affecting champions with abilities and... So it's both ways. So you'd have to do... Assuming full health and someone's not being assassinated, Q forwards, heal. 2 seconds. Like, hope your auto lands on the 2. Heal. Actually heal someone, heal again. So, and max is 150, plus 150. So 250 of this. It's like a 200 bonus heal. And then I'm assuming... Yeah, Soraka Karma for sure. This is the newer things. They've just removed shields being necessary. So I think Lulu definitely builds this. I think Bard can build this. Because even though he leaves lanes, whenever he wants to aggress, he is always together. 5 ability haste for every legendary item matters more on support, and it comes with 20 of its own. It's a good time. Ally burst. Use your CC to call the shots. Is this banner a banner of command? Looks like banner of command. Bandle glass mirror. Oh boy, we're gonna have some reading, aren't we? That looks like a mana regen component. Abilities that slow or immobilize a champion deal bonus magic damage, so forget what I just said about Bard getting heals. Mark them for 4 seconds. Don't any of them. Oh, everyone gets Leona passive. Stronger Leona passive. And haste. 15 AP. Bard item. There we go. Bang. Who else will build this? 20, 100. Leona gets double passive potentially. She'll probably want this one though. Having to choose about building Locket will still be a big deal. I don't really like that. What are the new legendary items if you only get one of these? I'm a bit worried about that. There's a lot of iconic items in there. CDR is more valuable the more we got. Yeah, everyone's got to get to 40. 100% reduced cooldown by the same amount, say. Yep. So this is just delinearized. 1 second that didn't change, even as the cooldown. Not really. Depends on the trade-offs you're willing to make. Every point of ability ace lets you cast 1% faster on paper. That makes it look like less valuable. No. It's the same amount of power because you've stratified your cooldown at the start. 50 ability haste lets you cast an extra half a spell during the cooldown. Oh, so you can think of it a percentage by rotation. That's going to be easy to work out. Next 50 gets you to full extra cast. A halving, essentially, of the cooldown. Another 100, you get another whole cast per rotation. Easy. I'm not sure about this. They will find one champion they missed that no one plays on PB. And they will be able to get to something silly. Surely. It's a bit sad then. It looks like you need multiple hundreds to get to... like big ways. Not sure about that. Lifesteal now counts physical damage dealt by on-hit effects. Physical vamp. So that's just ability healing, which I thought we'd got rid of 8 years ago, to be honest. I'm not really happy to have it back. Why would we give assassin abilities healing again? We fixed this a long time ago by removing. Now it's back. I look forward to Talon full healing through his rotation and blowing someone else up and having no counterplay. Unless this item is crap. Not for mages. Yeah, but it's... so... Omnivamp has to exist for that, but Omnivamp is small. Physical Vamp is just cheating. It's saying like AD mages and lizard wizards. Like, good luck. If you're curious whether that... if you're curious, that means we'll ever bring back Spell Vamp. I did enjoy Will of the Ancients, but it should not be in the game. That goes on Hivex. Wasn't one of the mythic items doing lots of on-hit damage. Well, I wonder what they'll build with it. And it only existing on one thing means it's going to be a buy or die when you need it. So, don't like that, really. Not much creativity in this or it's shit. Reducing the value of each point of critical strikes and offering less of it per item. So your curve smoothing. Oh, they've literally worked Swain of Blood again. Okay. I'm sure we'll get to that for whichever one it is down here. They bring it back, Vlad's like God. Yep. Do you remember Will of the Ancients read? Were you here in 2012? No, I mean years ago. Oh, yeah. That was removing Will of the Ancients. That's what that was. Will of the Ancients was an item that you would build quite early on. I think it was for a while it was Revolver and Codex, I think. But then Revolver was maybe different as well. Because Revolver had Spellvamp. 12%. The only thing you could really build it into was Gunblade or Will of the Ancients. And Will of the Ancients was built on every team fighting a top lane mage. Like Vladimir and Kennen were the big abusers. Rumble too. Remember that Revolver? Yeah, it was disgusting. 1200 to say, if you haven't killed Vlad already, then good luck. Vlad Swain. Swain was in a different place at the time. I think you would still build Will of the Ancients, but you would often, as it was very old Swain, you would often have different things in mind. Sometimes healing through Spirit Visage was just better. Or we thought it was better, which maybe doesn't mean it was better, but also that literally no one did maths, which is not good. Legendary items. Old tier 3 and 3.5. The Collector burst. Oh, this is so much reading. The Collector offers marksman champions more aggressive option when they find themselves facing squishy foes. This is old Duskblade that is not mythic. Ah, Serrated Duck. Lethality. You don't have to tie Spike to lethality. I know it makes it better, but the damage will leave it in. Oh! Yeah, let's just give people a mini Elder Dragon. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why make them think, to be honest? I do not like that. AD carries will build this with Pike in their lane and cause grief for themselves. Can Akali build this? Maybe. That's more a question of does Akali's full rotation leave someone at 95% damaged? Because if it does, then yeah, sure. Probably not, but you know, you're not worried about these things. If this matters, why not? Because it seems gold numbers are going to change throughout the game anyway. Either that or we've got the hugest shop next to Dota 2. Ability casting with critical strike. So this maybe is an Akali item. Well, crits for basic attacks reduce your oh no! It's Spear of Shojin. Oh fuck. Did we learn nothing? Trinder. Yep. What do you mean? That's not Tryndamere. That's a helicopter. It just won't stop spinning. I hope those numbers. 30 ability host. Actually, it's not. So it's 20% remaining cooldown, not 20% full cooldown. So it takes a big chunk off, then a bit less, and it'll never refresh something that wasn't about to refresh anyway. Porn word remaining. Okay, not the end of the world. Not great, not the end of the world. Something that just shouldn't be in League. Dodge. Reducing all your cooldowns rapidly through other minigame. Old friend, it has been a while. were the 2 items that broke at the end of Season 2 that no one would ever build? And then if you built them together, one of them was Force of Nature. It just turns out you couldn't die. Might have been Force of Nature and Warmogs. Force of Nature was health, magic resist, health regen, and the other one was like massive amounts of health. You can bang an Atmos on top at a certain time as well. Winged Moon. I want to know if these are just 2 like basic stat items paired together with no passive. There are a lot of them. That was it was more Olaf and Dr. Mundo. IPL 5 I think played under that format where everyone had realized because the day before the tournament Riot put out their patch notes, and in their patch notes they were like, we're hitting these 2 items. We know very few of you know about these, or like it's not completely everywhere, or this will surprise some people, but they're incredibly broken. Have fun at IPL 5, which is before the patch, but after the notes. Problem. But you would build them first, so it wasn't a late game. You would just build 2 dumb tank items, sacrifice your lane, unkillable. Do whatever you want after. So it tended to be things like Mundo and Olaf that could just sack 20 minutes. Like Farmer Q. Anti-shield. 40% bonus. Like, it carries 60 itself. Alright. Okay. Janna no longer the safest pick in League of Legends? Because most people can nip this in 2nd or 3rd as soon as she gets going. That's a lot. If there is shield amplification in the game now, this makes more sense. Ziggs into Earth. And they'll always build it because it's not mythic. Hex deck item. Need to figure out what the alternator is. I'm not going to start jumping up and down though, I will die. I want to go to bed. Non-targeted ability at over 750 range or immobilizing them. Reveals them, increases their damage by 10%. It's cute. It's not that good if Deathcap and others are still in the game. Sona's headphones. Focus on ability haste. Oh, move speed. Cool. Cool. Thought that was just get a fuckload of ability haste. Death by 1,000 spells. This is a Swain item, I guess. As you would cast your E or your W, gain the haste, run like a madman, chain the other one. Open up with your ulti. Yeah. Cassia would be a little bit nuts. She's fast already, and now she gets faster. Looks like it's relatively cheap for what it is as well. Yeah, full crit gem. The fast. This is now AP the fast. It kind of looks like Syndra or Cassiopeia in the picture, to be honest. Demonic Embrace. Be Warlord Shen. You can do it. Never mind, it's a mage item. As a kind of gaze, dealing ability damage, burns. Gain armor and magic resist. All champions affected. And then a little bit of scaling for AoE. That item's alright. That's significant on up close squishies, to be honest. AP Udyr probably builds this and is even more annoying than he is right now. Quite expensive, but I think this deck's with Leandry, yeah, sure. I think the champions that build this are more interested, that would build this are more interested in ability haste. But then if your mythic item says tack 10 ability haste onto this, That's quite alright. So I'll probably chain that way. This is going to be such a pain trying to, like, if you're just a casual player and you don't want to just do what the shop tells you to, which I suppose at least the shop can tell you to do things now. If you want to, like, actually think of the best thing off the top and not build the same thing every single game, it's going to be such a headache. Like, significant extra headache of what it used to be. This one has armor pen, not lethality. So, caps of assassin builds. So they want this to be like void staff for AD. Rest items provide lethality in the late game. Okay. No cooldown. So this is perma red buff. I get the principle of putting red buff on an item and calling it late game. Some champions will build it first and take the piss. Only on abilities, it doesn't matter. As long as you're chaining, like if you're chaining them together on a Renekton, what's the difference? Maybe they want it to be a Graves item. Oh, is Black Cleaver gone? This could be instant Black Cleaver. That's different. Everyone gets a QSS, finally. Tanky QSS. I am all for this. Ah, and they reneged on the airborne thing. Good. Good. Should not be having people cleansing knockups. It's literally all of the power. I think... when did they go back on this? Because surely this is not just in this patch. Mages get one too. Fantastic. AD Zhonya's. You're allowed to spoil AD Zhonya's for me. I'll be happy with AD Zhonya's. Will it be balanced? Probably not. Will it be great fun for everyone to have all the tools? Yes. Executioner's Calling, Caulfield's Wallhammer. Grievous Wounds for Fighters and Assassins. So it's been removed from Armor Pen. Don't remember? That's okay, we'll get to it. We are 40% of the way down, and I'm probably going to turbo at the end because ARAM balance changes. Come on, friends. Grievous Wounds option for support, which is amplified by immobilization. If this is the cheaper way into anti-heal AP carries, we'll just build it. What? Chemtech Putrefy. Oh god, I don't like the punny-ish names. So I'm gonna guess. Oh no, buff spellcasters. 23k, 2.3k. Yeah, it's way cheaper than the AD one. I don't see another executioner's item for like mages. So if they're calling this one for supports, where is the mage one? Or is Morello's still the anti-heal item? They've not made it mana regen again. I suppose its role is kind of some of the mythic items. So maybe Staff of Flowing Water, buff the spellcasters. Oh, Morello will be in here. I guess it might still be there, but unless they've put boatloads of other stuff on it, why would you not just build the cheap one and then fix it later? New item for enchanters lets you support mage, carries and zoom around alongside them. Shielding or shielding an arrow gives you haste. Shield and heal power mana regen. Cool. More Lulu items. It's cute. Holds control wards. Ah. This is where it gets interesting. I think junglers are going to build all of these. Need one more pocket. We'll take a swing at the age-old inventory crunch, because you should Riot Games, but also be careful, as we know what happened last time. Giving access to a glaring item that can hold control wards. Must be level 13, so we're well out of the laning phase. Well into the late game, really. This item can store up to 3 purchase control wards, so you still have to buy them. Watchful Wardstone once you've placed 20 stealth. So Lee Sin has a 1.1k tax. No, Lee Sin can start getting ridiculous after level 13. He does not care about money at that stage. Like a 1 and 3 item Lee Sin is nearly the same, unless you got there way faster. And he definitely buys it because 25 ability haste comes through. So you can't buy this. This is the same item once you've fulfilled the quest. And Lee Sin and friends are going to, what is it, 20? 20 stealth. That's reasonably quick for him. Unless they've changed the way that works. So this is just a bigger bag. So it's sight stones, but you still have to pay. But you can. Scale later in the game by turning your ward slot into a power slot. This 6th item fantasy is a reality for support. Nice. Oh, so you have to get the upgrade one, then blow more money, and you get a shitload of cooldown. And so, this is like Medjay's. It's like Medjay's, but for wards. Even bigger bag. Even bigger bag. Rather place them on the map. So, good time. Updated legendary items. I'm going to go through these quickly because I'm falling asleep in my chair. Functionality has changed enough that before and after treatment felt like the wrong approach. 5 wards at the same time? Incredible, won't it be? That means we can return to our Season 4 Korean standoffs. And you know what? Maybe I'm for it. Guess KR is back on top. Exactly. The same wavelength, buddy. Same wavelength. Zeal. More or minus percentage penetration when completing it earlier was worse than buying more damage, but then you were ready, and if you spiked on a fight, it was still better. Enemies need to stack armor before it mattered. More rounds more favorable plus upgraded grievous wounds on completion offer additional incentive. Sure. So that means Executioner's Calling has maybe changed. 40% grievous wounds for 2 seconds, 3 consecutive basic attacks enhances to 60. Good. Ginsu's now grants on hit damage based on CS chance, but you can't crit. Everyone gets the Ash treatment. No longer grants stacking attack speed. Ginsu is not happy about this. Should slap faster. No longer grants AD, AP, or pen. What's left? Bridge between crit and on hit. So everyone builds it? $45 AD for 20 crit. 20 crit is the unit, so you never lose efficiency here. Oh, unless you punch your microphone. So your crit cloak says 45 AD for 800 gold. And it has some of its own. 45 is a lot. I think that's overtuned. Because it's good to say like, oh yeah, 45 AD. It's pretty good. It's on an attack speed item. It's on the attack speed item. Ginsu's looks overtuned. I think that will be a must buy, and it will push slow AD carries out of the meta, unless they can buy it themselves. Thank God PD is back to Super Zeal, which is what it should be. Vayne double true damage, yep. Applied on hits twice, exactly. Top tier choice when you can stand and fire an extended fight. The Immortal Shield Bow. Well, we say defensive niche. This used to just be a red Zeal, and I preferred it when it was that way. Basic attacks from ghosting and movement speed. Attacking 5 times causes Spectral Waltz. Ooh, good. Super Zeal is back. I mean, and the best build path still. Good time. Vayne is having a great preseason. She really is. Now has Critical Strike. It has been removed from its armor penetration ways. Oh no. Still Armor Pen. Cool. OG Last Whisper. Rest in peace. Anti-tank. Flip-flop between marksman and assassins. Yep, always stronger for one than the other. It's a problem. That's why you could just buy it. It was cheap. So Lord Dominoes requires some crit and balance for marksman alone. Assassins have new sound deals grudge. I'm not sure it'll work that way because this is the 30% item. Depends on the rest of the lethality, to be honest. Now builds out of Sheen and has Spellblade. I didn't really want second Triforce. Maybe we'll have second Triforce. After using ability, restores 3 mana. Okay. So, just means it's not for AD carries to turn their mana bar off anymore, which is fine. Same sort of stats. We have to double down on the fantasy of spell slinging. I think this is too much investment for not a lot of mana. This item will likely go out of fashion. Unless they're in the, like, unless there are super use cases, I don't see it. Infinity Edge, increase critical strike damage now scales with crit chance. Additional 8 critical strike damage per 20% critical strike chance. This replaces, so instead of saying crits are double damage, they're now 1.75 times. So this puts you at 225 when you cap it out. Funny. So your Infinity Edge crits are the same as your old Infinity Edge crits. Is it iconic and valuable? Yeah, it's defined marksman of the last few years, really. And before that, it was Bloodthirster. I was 250 already. Was it? Am I just losing my mental? Probably. It's the problem when you know an item is always worth it. I just stopped paying attention to what it actually did, unless you were doing sheet maths. Increase crit damage. Oh, so it's still plus 50%. Which is fine. But like, if you were wondering about Infinity Edge over the last 5 years, and you actually had to think about it, the answer was yes. Very rare you didn't just jam the Infinity Edge. Mana Immune should be a valuable purchase to AD spellcasters who enjoy mana. Oh no. Double mana item rise. Here we go. Ability haste in addition to the mirror mana changes should broaden the list of champions and rise. Who can lift this item? Ez dancing. Yep. That's fine. Ezreal's kind of shitty at the moment, in my opinion. He needs this. This hasn't changed. This hasn't changed. This has changed. Maybe this is ability haste on Tear of the Goddess now. Mirror mana. Bonus damage now applies to abilities in addition to attacks. Hello. No longer consumes mana on proc. I will be playing Jace throughout 2021. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure playing every other champion. Now I play Jace. So you get the mana and the haste is the same. Targeted champions deal full maximum mana. Okay. Archangels. Previous version of Seraphs offered a power scaling offensively and defensively. We're shifting it to offense. Yes, good. Greed, zigs, happiness. Strike a target with the ability to consume a charge and gain 3 mana. Bonus mana gain doubled if the target is a champion. Seraph's Embrace at 450. Oh, this one was 450 as well, wasn't it? 450. So tier got quicker. Much quicker. Didn't it used to be 5? So I don't know what the difference on 3 out of 450 or 5 out of 750 is. Oh, but it means you haven't got so much mana out of it. So maybe that's the extra balance. Stubble to stack item super well now. Yep. Thank you, Rise. Thank you, Rise. AP per mana increase now grants mana per AP. Oh, no longer grants ability based on mana refund on cast. Didn't have it on that one. Okay, so if you want CDR, you're jamming with a sword. Oops, or kicking your desk. Whichever one comes first. Lichbane. Oh, should I read this? Increase your total mana by 5%. Okay, that's fine. It still does the same thing in our heads. Spellblade damage and cooldown increase, no longer ends mana ability haste, opening up Livestream, not just mana users. By getting rid of mana from Sheen, what do you do anymore? High upfront damage at the cost of a slightly increased cooldown. If you were good enough to be using it on cooldown anyway, and not just like maxing out, then that's fine. Next basic attack is enhanced with AD and AP. Kale likes this and wants to know your location. Oh, Black Cleaver still there. Blade the Rune King. Move speed active is now passive. Wanting to retain the iconic and unique effect. It has changed the game a few times. Makes room for other actives and more complex effects coming through from mythics. Is stealing a bit of move speed really mythic? Basic attack supply damage. Ooh, 10%. That's always like, I think that's the same as it is now, but it's always such a huge number to read. 3 times press the attack. This item has press the attack attached to it. Or electrocute of previous years. Does magic damage, so that's not changed. Scales with level. So it'll only like come in at like what? 80 over 18. So yeah, it's gonna come in at like 60 even if you're, or like 70 even if you're fed. That's okay. Speed for 2 seconds. Where's the cooldown? I think you can pair this with Ginsu's and it's incredible. Black Cleaver now deals missing health damage against fully stacked targets, no longer grants movement speed on hit. Good. Every 3 autos, yeah. No CD. Yep. Kale still wants to know the location of all of these items. Black Cleaver did many things decently well, wanted to do a few things better. I never liked how it built out of Phage, to be honest. Warhammer Kindle Gem Longsword. Dealing physical damage, applies stack of 4% armor reduction, same as before. Fully shredded enemies deal an additional 5% targets missing health and physical damage. So we're executing. 0.5-second cooldown. That might as well have no cooldown. It's just so that you don't double, like, auto resets and auto ability auto will only get it once or twice. Cleave now procs on abilities and range. Oh, we're back. Old Tiamat is back. Now grants Omnivamp instead of Lifesteal. No longer grants health regen. Fine. Actively rehomed Ingor Drinker. That's cute. Doesn't stack with Ginsu. Does it not? Black Cleaver. Oh no, Blade of the Rune King. Stacks with Ginsu. This doesn't really stack with Ginsu because you'll get your attacks over 2 a second. Eventually. I like this Ravenous Hydra, but I do remember the old one. How broken it was. We'll see. The vamp item for physic or basic casters. But it's Omnivamp. Might not be just AD casters. It might be Akali. We'll see. Now grants AD based on health, cleave. Oh, so they're doing away with like on hit damage to stop janky scaling with that new tank echo, mate. That's a shout. Yeah. I think Tank Echo might want the Omnivamp off of his passive, to be honest. Some power taken out is on her en route to raw AD to give it a home with champions who don't attack as often but still like AD. Scion just got a lot better. Because instead of 50 on hit damage, you now have 50 AD if you're on hit damage. You don't get an auto reset, which really sucks. You can do this from range now. So Tank Callista comes to mind. Short range ADs may just have more to do this season. Like Sivir can get out of hand. quite quickly. We will wait and see with bated breath. Wits End now grants move speed on a hit instead of healing. Goodbye, Wits End. Why are you doing Phage's job? With a few more healing options in this space, we had to be judicious with other sources of healing, replaced with movement speed to offer light fighters another form of utility. Now with more AD. Playing top lane will not be fun. It'll be the most fun. It'll be absolutely crazy for a few weeks. If you want a tank item, you buy a tank item. If you used to want to cheese a 1v1, you'd buy Wits End. Without the healing, it doesn't really fill this niche. More Malmodius is still in the game. Sweet. Lifeline shield increased, boastless stacks on proc removed. More specialized healing options elsewhere. Wanted more to stand out as the anti-magic burst item. So it's just the shield. All of that, like surge, some old summoner spell stuff has been moved. Death Stance. Can we not just get rid of it? I would love it if it wasn't here. I really, really would. Death Stance was the one-stop shop for everything fighters needed. Yep. Bonus damage, cooldowns, just fucking everything. We still offer these effects in the item shop, but the combination is piecing together a few more purchases. Death Stance is sharpening its role into anti-physical damage. Okay, so you can't just cheese mages anymore by getting to this item. It is only anti-AD. It's still abilities, but it's anti-AD. Instead of AP. Champion takedowns, cleanse, ignore pains, remaining damage. Oh. Okay, so you reset the bleed. That's fun, that's cute. Restore 10% of your max health over the duration. Yeah, okay. So this is an assassin anti-AD item. Sure. AD carries will hate this. Everyone else will be laughing because it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. Starrick's gauge, base heal decreased, so no more second health bar. Now scales with number of enemies in combat. Interesting. Now grants healing based on enemies in combat. This is now a tank item. Tenacity removed, no longer melee only. This is maybe an AD carry item again. Dealing damage or taking damage. So this Aphelios wants this, I guess. With these stats. With this. Dealing damage to or taking damage from a champion grants a stack, returning 2%. Okay. So mini Swain ulti. Upon taking damage that reduces you both with 30, get 200 plus 8. There are a few tanky AD carry optimal items in here. We'll see where that goes. Randuin's Omen. It reduces enemy AD and crit. Cool. Do enjoy more crit reduction. Tank Callista, yeah, I'm gonna have to play it. It's gonna be like Ginsu, then all of these maybe items, and then we'll figure out which one's good when. And how much the these bits matter in certain situations. Oh, hello, Frozen Heart. Bit of cooldown, bit of armor, and the active has had an update. Briefly slowing enemies, reducing their attack damage and critical strike damage. Further, reduce incoming damage from basic attacks by your max health. Oh no. 0.5% of your max health. 4,000 late game. It's like what? 20 damage off? Maybe not the end of the world. I think this is a good number. In principle, yikes. Huge. But in practicality, I think 0.5% of a tank is still not a lot. Randuin's fills the anti-crit. Frozen Heart still has its core effect. Good. Reduces attack speed nearby enemies. Oh, same. Rock solids is actually what they're calling it. I love it. Gargoyles, now with more Gallia. Active converted to decaying shield. Passive grants resistance on taking damage. Maybe this is better. So I didn't like the punishment for better positioning on the old one. Gain a 100 and your bought health bar. Shield that decays over 2.5 seconds. Long cooldown. Taking damage from a champion grants 3% resistance per enemy champion. So, okay. It's not the end of the world because this is always running. Which is fine. Abyssal Mask. No more Cho'Gath one-shots. You'll still be one-shotting. Like, 100% bonus health scales with Cho'Gath ulti. Could be worse, to be honest. Abyssal Mask is a more streamlined use case. Did you get rid of the mana? Yes, you did. It's broadened to increase all damage to the target. Not just... but it's immobilizing instead of surrounding. A Moo might still want this, I guess. Oh. Yeah, Moo wants this when he's supporting his team. And similar use cases. 4 seconds of remove things from opposing team. Ornn still wants this. Ornn still wants this. Especially, how are ornaments going to work now? Lordy lord. We are just over halfway through the patch notes. Damage reduced now applies grievous wound upon immobilizing an enemy. Thank God they don't have to hit you anymore. It's still... Okay, so you get to choose. This is good. Struck by an attack. Immobilizing champions applies large grievous wounds. Sweet. Zeke's Convergence now grants bonus on-hit damage to your linked ally on targets you have immobilized. Zeke's previous effect was too strong? Yes. Hard to appreciate. Come on now, really? Was it? I am disagreeing. It was brutal. Designate an accomplice. You done my boy Zeke dirty. For 4 seconds after you immobilize an enemy, your accomplice stacks abilities. Where is the cooldown? It's not double damage anymore, which is good. It's additional. Additional damage is always very strong though. You get to choose between health and AP, so everyone can still buy it. This should have, like, for a duration. So it's 4 seconds after you immobilize the enemy. But... Oh, it's both ways. Is it both ways? No, it's your accomplice only. If that has 0 cooldown, that is like 400 damage out of Leona, without including her passives. So you're overcapping and overkilling as an AD carry. Knight's Vow, damage redirect to increase. Double Zeke spot lane? No, you don't. An AD carry does not have a ratio with these. 2 bruises? Yeah, maybe. You can definitely have more than one of these on a team now. And his abilities now as well, most notably. But it is tied to the immobilization, so maybe. Damage redirect to increase now grants movement speed towards low health partners. Everyone's Saraka passive. No longer grants armor, passive movement speed towards partner or heals from partner. Damage, that's pretty huge. Moving Knight's Vow into the warden niche by increasing health and damage reduction. Damage reduction? Your worthy allies nearby do redirect 15% damage to take 2. That's fine. And same item, exactly the same, except for the use case where you would slam it on someone to refill your health bar. Morello's now grants improved access. No longer grants Mempen. Interesting. Is it cheap? It's 200 gold more than the support one. So they removed that use case I thought of where you just buy the support one. Unless you are basing the Baron fights coming up, you got a TP and you're on 2450, in which case you just buy the support one. But then I'm not sure this is all the same. So we'll see. Dealing magic damage. Attacks below half. Big grievous wounds. I'm not sure about 2 different tiers of Grievous Wounds. I think it'll be fine after a few months. Everyone will have gotten the hang of it. Sanguine Blade. Lifesteal is new physical vamp stat. This is the unique, isn't it? So ability heavy assassins can benefit from sustain. Otherwise it's the same item. This will maybe be controversial, seeing as we were still getting to grips with this item at the end of the year, and I think people who say they had the handle on it had not played Kale top and some of the other silly things you could do with that, because on ranged champions is very easy to manipulate, or decaying over 3 seconds means you can just get away with it, kill them in 3 seconds, because this is huge. Kill them in 3 seconds and then it comes straight back up. Legendary items balance changes. Gold stats, gold stats, gold stats. Scimitar gets crit, loses lifesteal. Unchanged but called out. Can't be used while effective. Oh, you can't QSS a knockup anymore. So previously you could QSS while knocked up because nothing could stop QSS. It wouldn't change the knockup, but it would re-enable flash and summoner spells and things you shouldn't be able to do while knocked up. It removed like that second layer. That is now gone. Lee Sin just got a lot stronger. Knockups are better than suppress now. I think they're the same, to be honest, but you're right that they are normally cheaper. So yeah, they are now in the same park. Runon's Hurricane. Bit of numbers shuffling. It's going to be the same as the above, I imagine. We're making crit chance out of 5, and movement speed is down across the board, which is fine. Bolt damage scales with levels. Bolt damage now scales with levels. Okay. Cogmore is also laughing. Giant spell got shoved in there, and we move some money around. Sure. Got more expensive. A bit more power. Nash's Tooth. CDR's gone. On hit damage is up. 10% of your total AP is now added. Gets an extra 20 itself. Stinger is gone. Bloodthirster got more metal. Bishop click and agility. Got crit. Okay. Alright. I'm not sure how I feel about Bloodthirster being changed from its role of just you wanted healing. Where is the lifesteal? There's still a Vamp Scepter here. I'm presuming Vamp Scepter's not dead. I guess they're only listing the changes, so it's the same. IE BT Draven? God knows. Probably still Sanguine Blade, to be honest. Another abuser of the item. And I don't think the Vamp helps him too much, but the lethality and ridiculous attack speed burst really does help. Yomu's Ghost Blade, no cooldown. Edge of Night, 580. 20 ability haste. So this item is even better, but it now costs a bit more. GA, same item. Warmogs, doubled its health per second. So this item got a lot better. Oh, no. No, it didn't. That's quarter per half or 5 per full. This is exactly the same item. Spirit Visage looks way snazzier. And got a nerf. Minus magic resist, plus money. Rotation to ability haste. Increases shields and heals by less, but now increases shielding. Potentially large. With Sona and Seraphine and similar champions continue to be widely played. Karma. Oh god, Karma. Jesus, she built this anyway in top lane. That's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. Sensor, same item. Makes it more mana regen, no move speed. Ah, CDR's gone as well. Sweet. Is CDR just getting removed from all the items that didn't really need it? No longer damages minions, it gets 3 times effectiveness. That seems like some spaghetti. Top is going to be fun to read. Top is so much fun in preseason. It's a great time. This one gets more ability haste than everything else per CDR. Interesting. Crystal Embrace, it looks like it's gone. Oh. No, maybe not. Mikael's looks even snazzier. I'm liking most of the art, to be honest. No longer grants bonus health regen. Thank God for that. That was just not required in the game, to be honest. Magi Soul Stealer, same item, but no mana. Which is fine. Zonya's, a bit cheaper. Banshee's, a bit cheaper. Bit less to it. Which is fine. Jungle item changes. This one's quite a big one, I believe. And I don't think you get to keep it forever, which is why I'm thinking you end up buying support items on jungle. Someone mentioned it to me the other day, and it has got stuck in my head. Damaging monsters burns them. Smiting 5 times gives you chill smite. Omnivamp is 10. Killing large monsters grants bonus XP. Ah, that means you lose the bonus XP. Jungle's going to be wild. Regen mana when in the jungle, sure. When smiting champions, smite deals exactly the same as it used to. I need water. Same in the jungle. When smiting champions, challenging smite marks them for 4 seconds. During this time, your damaging attacks deal bonus true damage to them. Posture check. Oh, mate, I am like granny right now. I'm like way bent over. You know what? Let's sit up properly and get this done instead of just all over the shop. Immolating Smite's damage reduction now as V effects. Good. Those were handy. I liked the ones on Abyssal Mask. And similar effects where it just pings you. You take 20% reduced damage from Smite enemy. You don't get vision of them, but I think that was removed a while ago. Jungle camp adjustments. Slightly improved pathing diversity. Yeah, right. Gromp got less scalar. Way less scalar. Gromp's first 3 attacks no longer murder fools. Killing Gromp restores health. Based on killers. Ah. Okay. I don't like that a lot of the experience has gone missing from these camps for junglers. Maybe that is something we only figured out at the end of the season with all this like Uber farm jungle style. Looking at you, Canyon. Looking at you. Rift Scuttler now spawns with a 60% max health shield. Shield breaks when immobilized. Huh. So the armor and magic resist thing is gone. And you don't heal and win the 1v1 if you steal it. But it is also way squishier. So you just turbo run this down, I think. And anything with CC kills it immediately. Epic items. Epic items are the tier below legendary. They are the mid-tier components. So this is the your Zeals and your tier 2s. Like the legendaries are providing blank state presentations. So these are some things I was interested in. Noon Quiver, which showed up a lot at the top of the list. Marksman champions suffer from awkward early game components. Because if it's not attack damage, it sucks. Both of which are critical. We created Noon Quiver, an epic that builds into Marksman mythics and features both. Noon Quiver also amplifies Marksman PvE. It avoids lane spawn and snowball BF issue had. Forced back. It costs the same as BF Sword. Which BF Sword was technically a tier 2. Or it was tier 2 power for tier 1. Like not building out of things. This makes caster ADs unhappy. Unless BF Sword still exists. Rage Dive gives on hit and flexibility into Ginsu's. This has gone over recurve bow. It is cheaper. It does the same thing. Except it introduces this non-crit, and it is per crit. It doesn't carry any crit itself. Super scaling. Super scaling. Kaiser is having a fantastic patch. Zaya as well. It's going to be an interesting one for AD carry this year. Percent armor penetration has Last Whisper as a component. I think Blighting Jewel to establish this for ability power. Sure. Look, it's cheaper than Oblivion Orb, and that's good. One of the building blocks of the system for mages, you want to deal and heal. Yep, Oblivion Orb. Giving mages early access to grievous wounds. Thank God you don't have to figure out in a scrim if the AD has 800 gold in their pocket. You can now buy it yourself as a mid laner. It is only small grievous wounds, but it is now half the cost it used to be. For just Oblivion Orb, and that was pen. And now this is just grievous wounds. Short duration, lower tier, cheap. Good. Seeker's Arm Guard. So this is Zanya's, simplifying and cheaper. Sure. Hextech Alternator, new revolver. Opening up the item to be less restrictive on who can take and use it. Damage proc now applies to abilities. So it still does its job of zap every now and again. So looks like the same item to me, relatively speaking. It's good that more people can build it, but you were more worried about what it built into than this always. This has not changed. Bami's center point of tank mythics now scales better early because all tanks should just deal a bit of fire carpet. Why not? Yeah, sure. Whichever. Winged Main-Plate. We didn't have any movement speed and health component. Now we do. Should you have? Ruby Crystal and essentially 2 Ruby Crystals. And it grants you movement speed. The second Ruby Crystal only pays for movement speed. Can't remember what it built into. It's Aether Wisp for tanks. Verdant Barrier, giving an MMR equivalent to Seeker's Arm Guard, so when you need to survive a difficult ability power lane, you have options. This replaces Null Magic, not Null Magic, Elemental Shroud. Was it Nullifying Shroud, something like that. Every 60 seconds, gain 3 magic resist, taking magic from champions. Time increased by 5% of the damage taken. Ooh. That is horrible to play against. That is a hard decision to make. It applies 5 times, and you can just give it to your opponent if you're not playing optimally. Ugh, don't like that. Not sure how long that'll last. Phage. Change the previous effect to something more selfish. That's fine. Okay, Warden's Mail is now outside of attack speed, but carries that super passive we saw on Randuin's and Frozen Heart. That's fine. The only thing that feels bad about this is it's a cool, unique thing coming in on a cheap item. When you buy this, you don't have the health to back it up. And it does not carry health itself. This is now super late game. Important. Maybe 3rd, 4th item if you're like playing through it. Changing Phage into a health scaling epic that helps beef up those fighters. Restores health. Cool. Look down a few lines. We have it. Attacking unit grants movement speed on the Hearthbound Axe. It did make more sense when the hammer slowed people, I'm going to be honest. Tiamat's passive and active to let each take on more center stage. Tiamat is keeping the passive. That's why. So Iron Spike Whip is the second half of Tiamat. And I think both come together for Hydra still. 12 and 12 is most of the cost of a Hydra. 30 AD, 55 AD for both. Having a good time. Some champions will make great use of this. Talon will likely have a good patch. Bandle Glass Mirror, filling a hole in the systems of Mana Gem. Ability haste on bound, shield and heal. A good time. That's a pretty good stat stick. It means Oblivion Orb actually has competition. Ah, it's not called Oblivion Orb anymore, is it? The pen one. I'm not remembering things yet. That will come in the weeks to come. Epic item balance changes. Cleaning things up. 15, I suppose, is Zeal's new number, seeing as it has to hit 20 on completion and is part of the complete cost. Attack speed up to compensate. Money down to compensate. Grievous Wounds is now short duration, so that 2 is the same for all cheap ones. She now costs 700 and is its own item in tier 1. No mana, no CDR. Only Spellblade? Only Spellblade. Little bit of... Spectre's Castle in the game. Interesting. Aegis is still the same item, so it begs the question why it wasn't in the other thing. Was the build path meant to be made harder? I don't like... Unchanged but no cooldown. Can't be used on airborne. This is a change. Lee Sin gets a buff. Cho'Gath gets a buff. Because you can no longer QSS Splash. Which was always worth it, if you had to. Tear of the Goddess is a starting item. So no longer will these characters have to take teleport. Which is good. Moving Tear into the starting item space is a greedy scaling option. Sure. You get the focus passive. You can seal a better option for those who don't need mana. And unbinding is strength from potions. Still better on the recall though? Or like later on to just farm it up immediately? I don't know. This item's still incredible. Doran's Blade. Omnivamp? Why doesn't the ring have Omnivamp if this does? More favourable to those who use spells and mixed damage type sets. We're going to see some interesting champions next year if this patch is what they've been initially designed on with this in mind. Opening up because every time the European Test Realm, you have this in your head. Like every game, whereas some things only some games, so we'll have this sort of thing in mind. Killing a minion restores 6 mana. Make the ring great again. Excess mana, all 6 of it, is converted to healing at a 50% rate. Maybe not the best to buy mana items early then. Unless Lost Chapter, of course, is still overtuned. Starter item balance changes. 600 gold to come down. A bit more gold. Fairy Charm is no longer an easy refund. Support item balance changes. Punch the microphone. Well, I'm very sorry for all of your ears. To ensure support builds are influenced similarly by their mystic passives as other roles, we are counting the fully upgraded forms as legendaries, but are reducing innate stats so they don't become more powerful in the process. We're buffing Spoils of War and Tributes so supports can bring their mythics online closer to everyone else. I wish we didn't let supports buy an item with like their support penance and then just leave them to soak kills, assists, or steal farm, essentially. I still don't like these items. They have mostly turned me off from playing support because my supports were gold dependent to an edge. Playing Zyra is not that fun anymore. A long time ago, Ninja Tabi granted dodge chance. A long time ago. Allowing users to sometimes that stopped being the case in 2012 early. We're catching up and retheming these boots. Goodbye, Ninja Tabi. They were gone for the longest time. And then they were brought back for the AD reduction boot that needed to come in. I think Ninja Tabi was fine. I don't think you need to worry about old people remembering that items have had multiple forms. It literally doesn't matter. All this does is confuse newish people who have just learnt what tabbies do. No mythic item, and you took some of its power onto Echo. Goodbye Echo, goodbye Leandri's Torment. You now look way sexier. Yep, this is an item, this is an item, this is an item. Helm was too niche. Didn't feel powerful when it was. Are you kidding me? Only if you don't have an imagination. I think Helm was incredibly impactful. Athene's, yeah, much more power. You can have support. Also, this person does not need anyone's support. So, good job on removing that one. Mallet was too niche or too strong. Yeah, and this is valid criticism for this item. Gunblade overwhelmed items for small champions, so Kali and Kale. So very little user outside. It was one of the more frustrating items. Yep. Spellbinder was hard to use well, and yeah, you never knew if you felt it landed unless you pushed R on Oriana. Like, that was the only time you knew you'd landed. Full mana regen Aeron build on supports is kill. This is maybe true. But Athene's turned it off anyway, so what could you do? Rod's gone? Didn't feel impacting. Well, did you have to put out a mythic? Didn't feel realistic as a later purchase. From the words they are using in this section, it looks like we all should buy our mythics first and then sculpt our downstream items to fit. Judging by those extra passives that award stats to other items, that's probably going to be the case, even if I don't want to change how I see the game right now to fit it. That's what their idea is. Oh, have they mentioned it in some of the rundowns that I haven't seen, maybe? Where is... Oh, I have more drink here. I don't need to go finding water. Unlike Seeker's Arm Guard, Twin Shadow's too powerful and warping when it went tuned to be purchasable. Yes, it had to sit at 90% of a real item. Static Shiv, I hope they give Static something else. I think they did in the older videos. Yeah, they did some long discussion ones that I didn't watch. Because they normally change their mind before this happens. But if you don't know, you don't know. Stacks Shiv's Chain Lightning. Yeah, for a while you had to buy that second on most AD carries. I hope Static's name goes into the runes or something. Charles was redundant, thank God. Bilge Water, goodbye, old friend. Yep, okay. Eternity passive is gone. Catalyst could have gone back to what it used to do, which was then stolen by Lost Chapter, but included health healing. That item was very good and allowed lots of melee mages to exist in the top lane that can no longer play the game. Conqueror streamlining damage as Orange Room from... So this is now further a battle. The healing is halved. Yep. Further with tack on to make it yellow instead of red. Legend Bloodline. Toning back the overall sustain. Yep, it was getting out of hand. This is a must take on many non-attack speed dependent laners, especially ranged ones, because you can essentially Garen your opponents without Garen passive. Ravenous Hunter, similar to Bloodline and Conqueror, lowering healing. If you can use it, it is too much. If you can't use it, you can't take it. The answer is to make it closer across the board, I guess. I'm fine with this. There's a lot of healing in Season 10, and there should be less in 11. Presence of Mind, single-handedly solving resource issues, it was ridiculous. If you got a kill or two at level 1, you had 200 more mana than your opponent in many lanes. And you took it to fix late game issues, and then if it handily solved your early game, it was too much. I know what the old one was, damaging an enemy. Increases mana regen periodically, 80% for range, mana for 4 seconds. NG users gain 1.5 energy per second instead. Take down, so it slows the late game insurance, but it requires you to participate, not in the moment instead of getting on the scoreboard. I like this rune. Again, this doesn't matter so much. This is essentially Mana Vamp, which was removed from the game a very long time ago. I think Mana Vamp is before me, to be honest. Before I knew how to read items, but not before I started playing the game. Transcendence to still be happy casters. Oh, of course, it has to have haste tacked on. Game bonuses, reaching the following levels. On champion takedown. Oh, that doesn't need to be there. You could have just given them a lot of haste for like a period. But then I guess it does not hit. Yeah, okay. Similar to Transcendence, you have been updated. 15 spell haste. This is an increase in power budget, which maybe suggests something about how item haste works. Okay. Oh, no, that's how it interacts with some of the spells. But it's had this removed, which is why this is an increased power budget. Cool, fine. Ingenious Hunter. So item things, all item cooldowns, just not actives. Not just actives. Okay, this is fine. 8 AP haste. This is at level 1. This is a level 1. This rune is completely different to what it used to do. You either buy it because you don't need the other thing, or you buy it because of a breakpoint. Buy it, choose it, instead of you don't need the other two, and CDR is nice. Time Warp Tonic no longer puts consumable short grade. Consumables like the instant restoration. No, punish people for stacking potions. It is lazy, and you should not do it. It is not hard. I am gonna have to blast through this bit because these are likely to change again in a week or two. Right, we'll have their robots watching, and it's all based on equilibrating the numbers that I missed earlier because they are all plus 5 AD, minus 5 AD, minus 5 crit. It's all just unification. It will largely feel the same unless we notice that a class of, like, say, Caitlyn, so like auto attackers that used to build crit like Ashe, all feel underpowered. You'll feel this in groups instead of individuals, and these individual buffs and nerfs are to try and escape this. Half your bonus crit. Time. Okay. Still in Jin's crits to feel noticeably different from non-crits when nerfing the AD gets from crit chances. There's crit damage. Goodbye, Jin. He'll be fine. Senna, passive crit damage reduction. Souls decreased. Now collects myths raised on cast. This is cute. Tryndamere, crit chance flattened. Thank God. This is not better, but it is fine. Yeah, so passive now converts crit stones a blow. Oh, so you can overcap on crit on new Yasuo. This is a lazy way of dealing with the capsule moving, is just saying you can overcap on both of them. Adjusting Kali for loss of Hextech Gunblade and presence of mines increased NG pool. NG cost is the same early, lower later. That's fine. Akali's damage on Q matters more than the resource, unless it hits the breakpoint, which 20. Yeah, it's a little change, but it's only applicable later. The loss of Gunblade and the lack of hybrid damage on mythic items, Katarina needs help. Helping her adapt to the new shop by further differentiating. We might have AD Cat back. Adding new scaling hooks that allow her access the on-hit system. Samira is good, so we've reverse engineered Katarina. Sounds fine. 25% efficiency is not a lot, especially when a lot of them have other conditions on top of them. Shunpo applies on hit. Dagger Slash applies on hit. So this 25, not the end of the world. Cat throws 15 daggers per roll, so she gets 3.5 hit per ult. So that's kind of like attacking. Passive bonus attack speed now scales with AP. Landscape around Kale is shifting dramatically, but she's very popular in the last few days, so she will be adapted. Both forms of Kale, they know. They know. Plus 10% AP. Sweet. So you can 110% your AP and get Death Cap and make it even bigger. That's fine. Masterworks now upgrade mythic items. Or now grants bonus health. Bonus defenses now increase per masterwork he creates. Tying into the mythic system. Sure, good way to re-engineer it. Depending on items, 1,000 gold. So they've linearized them as well. One for Ornn and allies, since you cannot have 2 mythics yourself. Sure. Ornn gains an additional 10%. So they're giving him 10% health in return for losing an ornament. Ornn gains an additional for each mythic item he upgrades into a masterwork. Ornn will not change. No more Hex Core. This is when they've implemented it. Harvests 1 Hex fragment from minion and monster kills, 5 from large, 25 from champion. This feeds into Victor's wave clear, and increasing his mana growth equilibrates. Can spend 100 to upgrade an ability. That's 4 kills. That's quite a lot. There's no guarantee of you getting it. A minion wave is 6 fragments and then 5 every 3rd wave, is it at the moment at the start? So 20 per 23 per 3 waves. 12 waves is 6 minutes. If you CS perfectly, you get one at 6 minutes. And then you maintain your gold. Once all 3 basic abilities have been upgraded, Chaos Storm is upgraded on its own. And the death ray got a bit better to help the wave clear. Victor has his new RPG to play. I think this is fine. That feels quite good. Like Gangplank Silver doubloons thing, you have to check how this feels. Victor players should be obsessing about CSing anyway, because if you delayed your Hex Core, you were in big trouble. So I don't think this pushes them in a new direction. I think it will feel good. Mana growth. Sure, friends. By Sheen. Other changes. It's fine. Conflagration is fine. Bit less armor on things. Build diversity. People are getting on hit effects everywhere. This is going to be like when I first learned the game. It's like, who can dodge? Who can't dodge? Can everyone buy the dodge item? Should they? Will they? What applies on hit effects is now going to be the new question. Pushing distinction between mid and support, because she was meant to be most fun in mid and then a bit of support. But instead she's just an incredible support unless your opponent picks Morgana after you, in which case you cry all the way home. So they've just tied it into level scaling. And reduced some of the wave clear they were worried about. That's fine. Deadly venom damage contaminates AP scaling now deals magic damage. If you've not changed the AD, this is just cute. And maybe it's for some of that hybrid mythic stuff. That's fine. Passive scales with AP. E deals even more damage to minions late. That's fine. Incoming heal indicator. Ah! This is the shadow of your health bar in ARAM when you hit the thing. Yeah, I've seen this around. Re-added it, yeah. I noticed it on Vladar as well. I wondered if he was like early healing and it was a bug, and then I saw it like backfill and I was like, that's grey health. That isn't there yet. I don't care about ARAM. The season has ended already, unless you're in China. I think for everyone now. Congratulations if you made it where you wanted to. I did not make it back to Diamond. So I'm a little sad. I'm going to enjoy the Platinum Chroma on this though. It's a good time. Does look snazzy. GM1 looks... GM, M, and P look really good. Based on level, you'll get these things. Should all be on a 5. You made it, Reed? Where did you get? Alive into the year. Me too. Clash's end of season. Everyone who participated in any clash will receive a clash contender icon. Receive a icon, logo, and banner based on victory points. I did not win a lot of clash. All rank rewards go out by D10, except in China. Because I guess Garena or Tencent client, whatever they use these days. I do care about matchmaking systems, unfortunately. A couple updates on Summoner's Rift rank to make sure the placement process stays. Brand new accounts will take into account additional variables. They already had a few anyway, I thought. Next, in order to smooth out progression bumps, removing inter-division transitions. Good. Consequently, demotion. So it's essentially like ELO between divisions, so that means they have to be tighter on LP. And I think they should be, because it will remove the +1, -1 protection, which is above and below your promotion series. Last but not least, Master and above will no longer duo. If you're high elo, I guess you have to want it without your friends in tow. Some people abuse it, some people don't. It's kind of sad for those who don't. They will now be forced to smurf or play flex. Playing flex properly is probably on. So look, shiny skins, end of patch notes. I did it. We did it. Congratulations, team. Congratulations indeed. Player on the team I'm coaching says, how broken does new Rageblade look? Do I just link him to the stream? Is that bad promotion? But we are finished. Was that 1,500 words? That didn't feel too bad. An hour 24 and 30. I'll take it. That's an acceptable speedrun. First attempt. The new year looks exciting. And I am happy to still be playing the game. I think. New Rageblade does look bonkers though. So now I know what these items are, so I'm going to do the mythics again very quickly. These are legit the same thing. Except, do you want tons of damage or do you want to not die? I presume you already do tons of damage. Or can you just... This feels like the you can't choose from the above ones special. This is like the punishment. I'm not sure I like the way this goes. It's like, these are not things you choose. Where's Ginsu's gone? There it is. I know Ginsu shouldn't be a mythic because you shouldn't be forced to choose. But it feels like it is the closest to mythic. Especially this passive. Especially this passive. It gets a little bit out of hand. Should we see if there are hot takes on Twitter? I think it's been a bit longer read. That says 2 hours. 8:04. 2 hours on the dot. He was pretty... What? Yeah, I thought he was pretty cancelled. It's set off for weeks. It's all so come on, you can put in the Fenton and Nightmare can put in the 2 hours like I just did, where I remember most of it. Show me your ideas. Wink, wink. Where is solo queue? Free agency series been cancelled. I know, but do it yourself, Fion. Do they own it? Just direct it for someone else and take all the subscriptions that come along. Me reading leaked Twitter is not the most interesting content, to be honest. I don't have a spreadsheet for Kale yet, but I think I'm going to have one. Because this is going to give me a headache. Okay, cool. Now, do I open Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, or do I go to bed? It is 10 PM. What are you up to the next few days, Reed? Are you doing anything fun? Yeah, it's because of those cutouts and lagouts. One of them was a bit longer. And it was about half an hour in. That just makes sense. Does make sense. Oh, the Soraka skin was revealed. That's at the bottom. You know, we're just gonna... There we go. Oh. Oh. I need to read these as well, actually. Bonus health for Skull. That's fine. Working till 20 tomorrow. That's powerful. Powerful. You'll finish work about the same time I will, I guess. But it's because I'm not working till 20. Home Plague, don't properly displays, Song of Celerity, Casting of the Slayer, so yep, you could like have a frame where you were casting E and still had control before the CC applied. Yep, I played Kindred last week and I was like, oh, I got 6 marks in 5 minutes because I got really lucky and also just invaded and murdered a jungler and I was like, what have I got? Not a clue, it all said 0. Lilting Lullaby, overhead indicator on enemies. Sure, I think that was only for the allied team, and the gold tended to give it away, so it's not the end of the world. Daredevil Impulse no longer knocks up spell shielded or untargetable enemies. Wow. I don't think... Oh, memory leaks should now be fixed. I had to turn my computer off yesterday for those. It was getting a bit bad. Getting ready for the end of the month event. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Right. I'm done streaming for the evening. This will be a habit in the future. I will do different things, but I'm all done. I suppose this is a YouTube video as well, or it will be when I'm finished with it. So thank you for watching. It's been 2 hours. Hope people read along and enjoyed if they wanted to do it with not themselves. Good night until next time.